Hello everyone. So this week I am going to talk about dating and dating advice and things of that nature. Before I begin, two things. Number one, if you haven't already subscribed to my vlog channel or my personal channel, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put the links below, so after this video you can check those out. And the second thing is that we are doing challenge week next week, so that's exciting. So basically, leave in the comments below or post on my Facebook wall or do whatever your heart desires and tell me what you want me to do next week and I will do it. Mostly. I will do a lot of things for you on camera, not sexually, but one thing that I will not do is something that will make me vomit. So if you are about to suggest anything that's gonna probably or definitely make me vomit, then I'm just not gonna do it. So pick something else. Oh my god, what was that? I just got an email that says, "Hello and welcome to Meow. Meow helps you connect with new friends around the world." I definitely didn't join anything called Meow. So maybe it's a dating site, maybe I can talk about it. Basically, what I'm going to talk about in this video is to piggyback off of Val's thing that he said yesterday, or today, because it's Saturday. He was saying, basically, for you to become, the person that you need, and I, wholeheartedly, that, you need to do that. I know so many people, myself included, who, try to find someone and, mold them into, I don't know, this thing that, they need people to be, and that's not how it works. And you need to be able to be there for yourself and self-soothe and be able to be your own partner, I guess, in order to appreciate someone else doing it for you. So that's step number one. Also, I'm sorry that my lips are so shiny. I'm on Accutane and they're really dry always, so I have to put stuff on them. And it looks like I'm wearing lip gloss, and I don't care. Date me anyway. So the other thing that I'm going to talk about is being trans and dating. So I'm going to give you a little back history on my experience dating and being trans, and then I'm going to give you advice because it's an advice week, so that's what I'm supposed to do. Since coming out as trans, I've had 4 different partners. The first person was, I dated her, we had been dating a long while before I had come out, and then right at the very end of our relationship, I hadn't come out yet. I hadn't really admitted to myself that that's what was happening to me, but I kind of put the idea out in the universe that maybe I might be trans, so that one didn't really count towards that, except I will say that she was very supportive. I think that the one strain on that relationship around the transness of it is that she had just recently come out as a lesbian, so I feel like she had 5 seconds to grow into and claim this lesbian identity until it kind of got overshadowed, and so that probably sucked. The second person that I dated, when we started dating, I was still trying to figure out if that was what I needed for myself or not. I started transitioning probably halfway through our relationship, and we did break up, and so yeah, the breakup didn't have anything to do with us being trans. She wasn't trans. I am. The breakup didn't have anything to do with that, though. That was the time when I was physically transitioning, and it really overtook our relationship, and it became the center of everything. So that's one thing I will say. If you are just beginning to transition, or if you are the partner of someone who is just beginning to transition, just be careful of that and try to navigate that. I don't know what to say. Basically, just try to have some tact when you're trying to navigate that, and don't let it overtake the relationship, and still make the other person feel important and show them that they are still important and that, you're going through a big life thing, but, you're not ignoring them, basically. Those two people actually identified as lesbians, and then the next person I dated after that actually was, she was like completely straight, had never dated anyone um, like other than cis guys before, actually. So that was like a big deal for me, to date someone who was like really straight and like just not really involved in the LGBT community at all, which, like, not in a bad way, like, that was fine. But that was like a really cool experience for me, to date someone and to know that someone, you know, would be with me and like appreciate me for who I am, basically. And then after her, she identifies more as queer, I think, like just open minded, open, like, you know, open minded to who she dates. So, like, that's a little bit more like along the spectrum of what I'm used to. But that's not to say that I'm uncomfortable dating someone who is like straight, like really straight. I'm not. Why did I just do that? Yeah, it doesn't make me uncomfortable at all. Like that's not like a criteria or anything that I have for someone. It just is. It helps me a little bit. Like it's like reassuring to me a little bit that like I feel like the other person isn't missing out on anything, or they don't feel like something is lacking from our relationship. I feel like that's like that's what people are worried about, and that's what people are coming to this topic for, maybe. I feel like there's this fear that all trans people have, or most, or whatever, many, that like straight cis people are just going to reject them just because they're trans. And let me tell you that I have never been like turned down or rejected because I'm trans, like ever. I have been turned down for other things. You know, some people have said that they like could never be with me because of my height, or because of, you know, whatever things that have nothing to do with being trans. So I just want you guys to know out there, that number one, there is hope, and number two, that someone is going to like you for you, and that's who you should seek out. I see all too often people posting on these Facebook groups being like, my partner is unsupportive, and my partner wants me to change, and my partner wants me to revert back to, you know, whatever, and I'm sorry, but that person isn't right for you because they don't like you for who you are. And I think that as trans people, there's this fear ingrained in us that we're not going to find someone who likes us for who we are. And, you know, you have to remember that you're more than just your trans identity. You know, there are lots of reasons that people can like you, and, you know, you being trans isn't going to like stop that. My advice to you is that remember that you're bigger than your trans identity, and that you want to keep it in perspective. If someone is like rejecting you, or whatever terminology you want to use, maybe it's not because you're trans. I mentioned in my last video that trans people are kind of sensitive to the fact that they are trans, and they think that everything that's going on around them is about that. And I said this in my passing video, that sometimes you don't pass, and it's not because you're trans, it's just because, you know, someone used the wrong pronoun, and it could have happened to anyone. So keep that in mind as well in this realm. Don't attribute everything to being trans, and if someone does reject you, it might not be about that. And even if it is, you know, then clearly that person's not right for you, number one. And number two, is that really someone you would want to be with anyway? Because that's not the case for me. You know, if someone I was interested in said to me, like, hey, I really like you, but whatever, it's like, okay, then you don't like me. You like someone else who's similar to me, but is different, and that's not me. So, I don't know. I just think that you need to do you, and you need to be all about you. And if someone else can like get down with that, and they want to, you know, join in on that, then great. I'm really happy for both of you. But don't rush it, and You know, don't feel like you need to be in a relationship to feel validated, because you can validate yourself. That's a thing. It's possible. I'm still learning how to do that, how to be there for myself. So it's okay to be a work in progress, because that's all right. So anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or whatever, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and leave comments on the challenges that you want me to do. See you guys later.